Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Jimnasium. As always, I am your illustrious host, XFL Jim, joined, as always, by the beautiful, well-groomed Chase, Lupine Fiasco,
Well
Sessoms. How you doing,
groomed.
my
You,
man?
you don't have to lie to the people,
I
Jim.
mean, look at that beard. That's a pretty good beard.
Yeah, then the undercarriage. Well, not my undercarriage, but we'll just say the beard's undercarriage needs some work. I'm gonna get that all tightened up before see you in Vegas, though.
I always call my beard like the bristle brush. Just you're because you're painting when
Yeah.
you're doing the business, you know.
Oh yeah, just the old cornstalk broom.
Oh yeah, it's the tools of the trade.
Yeah.
So before we get into anything else, the Jimnasium, as all garage related things, are now brought to you by. Guess what? Guess fucking what? We got a new sponsor. We got someone here, Nitro Betting. Holy fuck. You like crypto? You like gambling? Yes. The answer is yes to both those. Crypto is like gambling when it comes to just finance, and I love it. And what better way to use your crypto than at a sports book? And what better sports book to handle crypto than Nitro Betting? If you see the fucking scroll down there, we have a promo code link. Use that link. Go sign up for Nitro Betting. Get your degeneracy on. Use your cryptocurrency. It's awesome. If you have cryptocurrency sitting in just your account, you could be like making money without even betting. It's wild.
Yeah. It's I'm got signed up this week. I dig it, man. I really dig it. It's easy to make deposits. Withdrawals from what I hear are a snap. And yeah, I highly encourage it. I give it my seal of approval.
Nice. Arf, arf, arf. Approve that shit. Man, week one, college football in the books. I'm so happy college football is like officially here. It's been nice to be like, hey, football's back. Preseason NFL, huh? Football's back. CFL. And CFL is awesome. I'm going to pump up CFL. Super fun. Hey, football's back. Week 0 of college football. A little bittersweet for me because my team got fucking embarrassed as the first game of the season. But week 1, we're here. We're fully fucking here. College football is online, and I am just so fucking happy.
I feel like the powers that be, like I feel like everyone was talking about week 0, and they're like, what's up with this week 0? Week 0 is blah blah blah. Dude, I think they know what they were doing because I was worked into a froth, a real just honeyed funk, like fucking excited for like the actual like week 1 kickoffs. And it's like the excitement just built all the way through week 0 to week 1 when I was just at like peak like hype for football.
Week 0 really did, I feel, like a good job of kind of getting you like, oh, football is back, but now I'm hyped for week 1 with some marquee matchups, some really good games coming up. I'm all invested. I am 100% all in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you ended up with some good games week 0, and man, did you end up with some great games week 1.
Yes, you fucking did. Let's get into these games. I'm just going to start off the main one. Georgia Clemson. It was the marquee matchup. The Dukes Mayo Classic. Never actually had Dukes Mayo.
I don't think I've tried it either. I'm a straight up Hellman's dude. I mean, I like it OG. I don't know what to tell you.
Actually, I hate to admit it, but I'm kind of a Miracle Whip heathen.
Oof.
I know.
Ooh, I'm not sure if we can be friends anymore.
I like Mayo. I like Mayo a lot, but I like Miracle Whip. But Georgia Clemson, it was a defensive fucking slugfest. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think I said to take the over in this one. Boy, howdy, was I wrong. Yeah, I don't know what to think about this. Are these two defenses just absolutely elite? They might be. I mean, there's a strong chance that they are. Or were the two offenses just not that great? I don't know what to take from it.
I think it might be a little bit of a combination. I know Georgia was out some of its wide receivers due to injury, and I know Clemson. I don't think Clemson was out anyone offensively. They just lost a lot from last year.
They lost a lot. All they have at wide receiver right now is Justin Ross, really returning, and he's coming back off of like a catastrophic neck injury that forced him out. So, I mean, cupboard might have been just a little bit bare in both places when it comes to the pass catchers.
I think so, and I'm gonna not jump to conclusions based off of this game too much. I do think these defenses are really good. It's hilarious to me that the only touchdown scored was a pick six.
Right.
That is probably my favorite takeaway from this game.
Yeah. It's a pick six to win it. It's just not necessarily what I was expecting. I mean, what I see is that these two teams definitely have the defenses to possibly win their conferences, but they're going to have to, both teams have to answer a whole lot of questions on offense. And you know what, you got to give them a pass a little bit with it being game one, because especially when there's a lot of roster turnover, like you can think who the man is coming out of summer camp into the season, but it's always going to take 2 or 3 games for whoever your actual playmakers are to emerge and separate themselves, because there's a whole lot of difference between being really good in practice and being really good on the field.
I think some of these teams, after a big COVID year, they might need to take a little bit longer kind of just to get into the season, kind of get these pieces fully in. You know what team doesn't seem to need any fucking time getting anything together is Alabama. Holy fuck.
I said it yesterday. If you give Nick Saban longer than 7 days to plan for your game, you are royally fucked. Like, that's just what they do, man. That is what they do. And at this point, after watching that game, I know it's week 1. I know it's way too early, but I think you're looking at your national champions right there.
Which is insane. He's never repeated. No, he's never repeated
in the playoff era.
Undefeated seasons.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's what he's never had back-to-back undefeated seasons.
I mean, but of course you don't have to win national championships, but
also true. They could lose one game. I feel like as long as it's not. The interesting thing would be is if they made the conference championship and then lose that,
they'd still be in. They would still be in with one loss. Absolutely. Yeah. There's so much Alabama love, and they know that they're such a national television. No way they get left out with only one loss.
Yep. Bryce Young looking fantastic. 27-38, 344 yards, 4 touchdowns against the Miami defense we were led to believe was going to be all right, but I don't trust Miami.
And they still might be. They still might be. Like I don't think you can rush to conclusions about what a team can do based on them getting absolutely ass fucked by the Crimson Tide after Nick Saban has had longer than 7 days to prepare for the game.
The thing about Miami specifically, though, is they're one of those teams that just never recovers from an ass whooping. Like you saw it back in the day when Florida State was good, when Jimbo was there. Miami would have a great season, and then they'd come up against Clemson or FSU, and they would get fucking shellacked, and then the rest of their season would just go downhill. I just think Miami kind of has that mentality.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think that no matter how good or bad they are, Miami is that kind of culture that with what they've done in the past, it always feels like national championship or bust. And so for a whole lot of teams, one loss is enough to say no national championship. So, I mean, I could see it. I hope they rebound, because to me, college football is just so much better when the U is good.
They're a great villain. They're a great college football root against team or root for, because I can respect the swagger a little bit. I mean, fuck Miami till I die, but they're a fun team.
Yeah, they're definitely a fun team. I mean, they made the turnover chain a thing, and then everyone else has ripped it off. Like they are trendsetters.
I don't want to talk too much about my team because Nebraska played Fordham. I just want to say if that first quarter is anything to go off of, I'm still very, very worried about this team. And for the rest of the game, I'm still very worried about this offensive line. Adrian Martinez looks he looks fine. He looks all right. Yeah. But our offensive line is just really bad.
Yeah. I was at least they pulled away, but at the same time, you don't like to see them struggling with Fordham at any point.
Any point in the game.
Yeah.
It makes me think that the second we start playing Big Ten teams, it's just it's not happening. Yeah.
And I mean, speaking of Big Ten games, we had a barn burner at Camp Randall. It had all
Big Ten.
Oh yeah, it had all of like the week one like jitters. Like neither team looked like they were like for sure in like full season form. I gotta say though, I think Penn State is legit this year.
I think Penn State, they took a year off of being bad in 2020. I think they're kind of back to easily the number 2 team in the East.
I think they're going to give Ohio State a run for it. I mean, Ohio State looked good against Minnesota, but they didn't look like dominant against Minnesota.
The issue with that is it's at Ohio State. I hate that.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I get it. I understand.
I still think they give them a game. I still definitely think they give them a game. I mean, Penn State's like the only team of the last, I want to say, like 5 to 10 years that's really been sort of competitive sometimes.
Yeah, no,
Iowa at Kinnick is always scary, but
yeah, that's true.
You can't really rely on that on a consistent basis.
Iowa's always gonna win a couple games where you think they shouldn't, and they're always gonna lose a couple games where they should 100% win. It seems like they'll beat Ohio State and then they'll come back out and they'll get speed bagged against some other Big Ten team. But I thought Penn State looked great, and it was a great game to watch. It was high drama. Despite what Leo says, Camp Randall gets wild, and Camp Randall was wild for that game.
Wild fucking take on his part. Camp Randall is an amazing environment. It's a fucking super hard place to play.
It's like they give everyone their candy cane overalls and like a free line of Molly to toot, and they get out there and they just fucking. It's like Coachella meets football. Big Ten football, and
it's Coachella meets like an Iowa State fair. So you're eating like fried butter on a stick laced with Molly inside of it.
Could you stop, ladies and gentlemen, in the south end zone? Could you stop licking the butter statue, please? Please and thank you. Stop licking the butter statue. There's not enough Molly butter to go around. Yeah, no, they look great. I thought that was a tough win. I also, when I was doing our research for the show yesterday, I didn't know that the Oklahoma State offensive coordinator had jumped to Penn State.
Mike Yurcich. Yep.
How does Oklahoma State let that happen? Like, were they not willing to open up? Does he have connections there, or was he just not willing to open up the wallet enough to keep him there? Because that's been probably top 5, maybe top 3 prolific offenses in college football over the last 10 years.
Well, I don't know if Mike Yurcich had been there at Oklahoma State for that long.
He'd been there like 8 years, I think.
I think I just know. I mean, I know he was fucking really, really good. Was he the former Princeton guy?
I have no idea. But you could, while you're looking it up, I'll just say that you could really see his influence in the offense whenever they're snapping the ball, and then automatically it's a quick pass out to the wide receivers on the perimeter, giving those playmakers on the edge, just getting them the ball immediately with that sort of like short, quick passing game, which really, I mean, for one, you're getting your ball to your best people. You're playing a really kind of simplified offense where it's just a matter of doing math, just like, okay, how many people on this side of the ball? How many people on that side of the ball? Okay, there are less over there. I'm going over there, and it opens stuff up late. Like I thought, I really liked their offense, and it took Clifford like a half to get acclimated. But once he got acclimated, they looked really good.
They look really fucking good. And also, no, it was Sean Gleason was the OC at Princeton. Then he was at Oklahoma State. Now he is at Rutgers with Schiano.
Who did the damn thing against Temple. Man, they put it on Temple.
Fuck. Yeah, they did. Temple is looking like, they're probably going to be the bottom of the AAC. They're looking pretty bad.
Yeah, they are. Absolutely. The Golden Guido got it done.
You know who else got it done? Lance fucking Leopold and the Kansas Jayhawks storming the field. South Dakota, 17-14. Let's go. Fucking chalk.
I had South Dakota on the money line. I hate that you're that happy about this.
I just think it's hilarious.
They shouldn't have won. They should not have won that game. They did everything possible to try to lose that game. Like, they were outplayed 100%, but they got it done. Yeah, they got it done.
They got it done, and Lance Leopold, is he turning it around? Can Kansas win more than one game this year?
No. It's just flat out. No.
You know what? They do have Duke on the schedule.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know, man.
Duke's gonna beat them, man.
That's the game. That'll be the game of week 4. That's the game of week 4. Duke versus Kansas.
There are going to be some gamblers sweating in a week 4 whenever the Blue Devils play the Jayhawks.
You know who else is fucking sweating? The Washington fans. Like, both teams in Washington looking pretty darn suspect, in my opinion. Your Washington Huskies, how are you losing? I get Montana's a good FCS school. How are you losing to Montana as the UWs?
I don't know. I mean, I feel so, they make the schedules so far in advance. Like, usually it's like 5-6 years, like these games have been set. Like, it's probably one of those games that like you probably just like, when you scheduled it, they kind of, they were an okay FCS team, and like now they're really good. And also, I mean, just look at what teams from the Big Sky Conference did like over week 1, man. Like the Big Sky didn't fuck around. They covered against Utah. They had Weber State covered against Utah, had a kickoff return for a touchdown. I want to say another Big Sky team possibly either covered or won. Who was it? I think like Montana State or something.
Montana State did cover. They did not win, but they did cover. And
I mean, if they're covering, I mean, the professionals in Vegas are saying that they're not good enough to keep it within that margin, and they're proving people wrong and also winning outright in some occasions. But yeah, it's I mean, it's nice that I don't have to think about Washington for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's like I'm done thinking about both Washington and Washington State. I mean, so the Big Sky, the big players went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Top 6 went 1-0.
All right.
UC Davis. I forget who they played. Did they play? They beat Tulsa.
They beat Tulsa.
They beat Tulsa. Come on. The Big Sky is here to fucking lay its nuts on everybody.
Yeah. They're big and they're the sky. That means they're over everything. You see what I did there? You get it?
I like that. I definitely like that.
See what I did?
I do like that. Man, I can't believe my Golden Hurricanes lost. I didn't even remember that. That's week 1. College football's here. Holy shit.
How about Oklahoma Tulane?
You know what? Tulane is one of those teams. I think they were playing with that, what you were talking about. They're playing with the heart. They had the hometown sort of thing, the tragedy. They're playing with that heart. Oklahoma was not ready for. I feel like for the longest, for like Lincoln Riley's tenure, they haven't done well against option-ish teams, and Tulane sort of plays like an option style of football, and that just seems to give, no matter who the D coordinator is, that just seems to give Oklahoma fits.
Here's my hot take on that game, is that Oklahoma sucks at defense. They have sucked at defense for the last 10 years, roughly, and they're going to continue to suck at defense, and they're not going to win a national championship until they figure out how to not suck at defense.
Last year, though, they were a top 30 defense. I don't know.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough.
I don't know, man. It's all on, like, their entire future to me rests on Alex Grinch's shoulders.
Yeah.
I mean, because like Lincoln Riley will have that offense ready to, like, that offense can compete with anybody. It all comes down to the defense.
It does, and it's always what undoes them. It's what the bane of their existence is. Like, you had that offense humming in the Rose Bowl against Georgia a few years ago, and then what happened? You're blowing out Georgia in the first half, and then that defense can't hold on to it. Like, they're never going to succeed in the playoff era until they can get a defense that can actually reliably shut people down. And also, when their defense is top 30, but they're playing in the Big 12. Come on.
I mean, fair. But usually the Big 12, you think of having like really great offenses.
I just think of the Big 12 as just being a big flaming turd at all times, quite honestly. Outside of Iowa State, go Cyclones.
Go Cyclones. I think, I mean, now I kind of am rooting for extreme chaos. I would love a Farmageddon conference championship. K-State versus
Yes.
Iowa State.
That would be nice.
I'd love
That
it.
would be fun. That would be fun. It would be not having Oklahoma in a conference championship game would be really fun, I think, for Big 12 fans.
I think so too. This would be like, hey, don't let the door hit you on your way out, you fucko.
Yeah.
Other one I want to talk about, been calling that. I called it my hashtag garage certified UTSA over the Illinois Fighting Illini, the Fighting Birds. I knew it was a letdown spot.
I'll tell you what, I always say it's Bert's gonna win you some games that you definitely should not win. He's also gonna lose you some games that you definitely should not lose. So good for the Roadrunners. Good for the Roadrunners. And Illinois just getting birded, man. I know what it feels like to be birded, and you've been birded, folks.
You have been birded. The last bit of college football stuff I want to talk about right now is I was wrong. Navy is looking like the worst academy school this year.
Yeah.
They're looking real bad.
They got destroyed by Marshall. That wasn't even a game.
No, it wasn't.
I was banking on a Navy having a bounce back after a terrible season like their coach had done previously.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what I was thinking too. I mean, to be fair, they got blown out game 1 last year, and they started to kind of like trend upwards throughout the season. So I'm not gonna give up on Navy being a fringe bowl team now, but I had them I had Air Force 1, Navy 2, Army 3. I might have to flip that. I still like Troy Calhoun in Air Force though.
When you just look at the rigorous admission standards for a service academy, like what it takes to get to a service academy, it's like they won't just give you an athletic scholarship and be like, all right, you're in.
Yeah.
If you are one of those teams and you can just make a bowl game, it's a fucking success.
That's a good year. It's a good fucking year.
Because by all accounts, I mean, you should be performing like Vanderbilt, like other just insanely
you should
strong
be like
academic
a Georgia
schools.
Tech, maybe not even, because Georgia Tech even has like a big city to recruit to.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, come on, Navy, pull it out. I'm rooting for you.
I'm rooting for you. I like it when the academies do really well. What were your general takeaways from week 1?
My general takeaway from week 1 is stop calling all the fucking targeting fouls, for the love of God.
Yeah, they really went in hard with targeting. And it really made me remember, oh yeah, I fucking hate targeting. It's one of the worst penalties in sports.
It's so subjective. You can tell that it was a point of emphasis for their officials meeting for the year, because I saw no less than, it felt like 2 or 3 targeting per game.
Yeah.
Arkansas, we lost an All-American in the first quarter to targeting.
To be fair,
we lost
to be fair, that's when you want to lose them. You don't want to lose them in the second half.
Yeah, because we lost Bumper Pool in the second half to targeting, and we're not going to have him for the first half against Texas next week.
That's
boo.
It's fucking outrageous.
It's one, it's subjective. 2, it's not like these players who have the ball aren't deviating paths. They aren't moving horizontally to evade tackles. The strike zone is always changing. Always changing. How did that name not make?
Right. How did Boogie Knight, by the way, not make the all-name team? That's outrageous.
Yeah. No, that had to be my main takeaway was fucking targeting.
Shitloads of targeting.
It's out of control. The NCAA has to there needs to be a conference call this week that's all right, we fucked up.
Chill. Fucking chill.
The reviews, the replays that I saw, the majority of the replays had nothing to do with getting first downs, about if it was a fumble or not, if the catch was in bounds. It was reviewing for targeting, and you're kicking some of the best players out of the game. Come on.
It's such a fucking subjective thing, and when you're reviewing it at super slow-mo speeds, these players are going Mach fucking 11, running at each other at full speed, and then we're reviewing it at 1/20th of the speed, trying to be oh, was this intentional? Is he leading with the helmet, or is I fucking hate it.
It was the to me the worst one was the hit on Mertz at Wisconsin in the final minutes of the game, because not only did it kick a player out, but it also drastically changed that game. Like, that would have been 4th and 2, and it put them in the red zone, and he was running. Like, he was not defenseless. He was a runner. And the guy was just flying in to make a tackle, and he hit him. Like, when two players go in head to head, it's not automatically the defense's fault.
Yeah, like, what do you do if the runner lowers their head?
Yeah, fuck you. Then that should be targeting, and you should be kicked out. Let's see how long the rule lasts when they change it up like that, and then you start having like running backs and number one quarterbacks kicked out of the fucking game because they run into someone with the crown on their helmet.
To me, it's just another thing that, like, football just doesn't care about defense.
No, they don't care about defense, and you have to. The rule, it comes from a good place in terms of what they're trying to do. But it's so poorly executed. It's making it hard to watch football. It makes it hard to watch football when you have that.
Yep, I'm right there with you. It's the meaning is good. The execution is just so bad. It's fucking terrible.
And I feel like just after watching this failed experiment that is the targeting rule, that maybe just a rule like this shouldn't exist because it's so subjective and there's so many variables that go into it.
They already had, I think before targeting, didn't they have spearing?
I mean, yeah, there was like a spearing call. Like,
yeah, so if it's like, I feel like targeting can just be it. I want to say it should be obvious. Like, you should be able to do it for like obvious cases where they're like crown of the helmet is like right there, like under the chin, or intentional, anything like that. But man, it's yeesh. And then Beho here too, the call in the Ohio State game.
Yes. Yeah. That was one of the only ones that I saw over week 1 of college football that was like a brutal, nasty targeting that I was like, yeah, that's targeting. That has to happen. And then they got a fumble from it, and it was ridiculous. It's especially because they could review from the booth and then decide that a targeting has happened. That's also fucked up. That has to change. Like, because
they could be reviewing like a first down situation or a fumble and be like, oh, this was actually a targeting too.
That's because that's what happened in the Wisconsin Penn State game. Yep. But they actually reviewed that play to see if it was a fumble or not, and it wasn't called a targeting. Holy fucking shit.
It's just a shit show. Ref City shit show. Love that football's back. I kind of like complaining about refs. It's a fun thing to do.
It's a pastime, yeah.
But man, fuck. Get it together, guys.
Get it together.
I
believe I tweeted at the NCAA to get your shit together.
Hey, tweeting at businesses, always recommend. I'm gonna work my way tweeting at Casey's till I get a free pizza.
The NCAA is not a business. They are slave masters and a cartel.
There you go. I'm right there with you. My 2 main takeaways from college football week 1. I have 3 actually. I love that Big Ten football is back. Penn State and Wisconsin was peak Big Ten football. Makes me excited for when Wisconsin and Iowa play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love that shit.
Yeah, that's just going to be a whole bunch of large white people slamming into each other.
Something I hate is Texas back.
No,
never.
No, I mean,
disappointed in the Cajun. Maybe ULL might not be as good as we all thought they were.
Always a possibility, and I don't know. I didn't think that they looked like superb by any means. I still think Arkansas's got a chance.
I think Arkansas
next
definitely
week
has a chance. And is Chip Kelly back?
No.
He brought back the visor. I am of the firm belief that UCLA is alive for the Pac-12. Very much so. It's. I feel like it's between them and Utah.
I didn't freeze. I'm just staring daggers.
I know
into
you're
you.
just very upset. We have drastically different opinions on Chip Kelly.
I hate Chip Kelly. I hate Chip Kelly so much. It has nothing to do with like
bad guy.
God. I don't even know why I hate him so much, but I think it's because
he's an asshole.
A big fat bag of dicks, I think is why I don't like him. Yeah, like, God, and UCLA.
I mean, it's a beautiful campus. I'll give him credit for that.
Okay.
Oklahoma
State's a gorgeous campus, but I mean,
yeah, Mike Gundy's a fun guy.
Yeah, that kind of shit all over my argument. Mike Gundy does kind of rule.
Fucking love it. I'm happy college football's back. Chase is happy college football's back. And if you're listening to this, you should be happy too, because oh my God, you can bet on it. There's so much you can bet on. Do it at Nitro Betting. Use the promo code down there. I'll link it in the audio versions as well. Make sure you do it. Good old crypto books. It's a fun time. You're making money while you're betting.
And unlike some other online sports books, you don't have to send in a DNA sample. You don't need to pee in a cup and send it in to prove who you are. They take all comers.
It's so easy. It's perfectly anonymous. It's a great way to do it. Go to nitrobetting.eu/?reference =BTV. That's right. I fucking told you the link to use.
That you gave the people everything they needed. That's for sure.
As we close the book on college football week 1, I will say I think we're halftime right now in FSU Notre Dame. Prediction. I want your prediction. It's 17-14. Notre Dame is up right now.
17-14 from what? I mean, I know that Florida State scored a couple touchdowns, but at the same time, they also, from what I saw early, like they really just didn't look all that great. Mike Norvell had cornrows at one point in his life.
Keep bringing that up. I love it. Always.
Never forget. Hashtag never forget the cornrows. And I honestly, I think that Notre Dame's going to pull away in the second half.
I think so too. I think Notre Dame is just they're a proven team. I think maybe Florida State covers, but I think Notre Dame at the very least gets the win. That's my prediction. Moving away from college football, we come to Chase's shower thoughts cul-de-sac. Trip.
I had just a deep moment of introspection yesterday, watching the Arkansas Rice game as Rice took a lead in the halftime and actually was looking pretty strong. And I was, it looked like a loss to Rice to open the season was a real possibility. And then I realized that I have turned the corner as an Arkansas fan, but also as a human being, because if we had lost to Rice, it wouldn't have fucked up my week. It wouldn't have fucked up my day, or even just made me sad. I would have been like, yep, that's about who we are right now. I accept it and I move on. Like, I've seen these games where we lose to teams that we should just stomp a mud hole in. And to be fair, like, we came back, we won. They really put it together in the second half. But at the same time, like, I've been there, and I'm no longer a delusional fan. I don't expect anything from us. I don't expect Arkansas to keep me warm at night. I just, what happens.
I think there's some healthiness to that, where you're not letting the sport destroy you physically. Like, I'll say this.
And I broke a hand. I broke a hand after an Arkansas-Texas game once.
But did you this year?
No.
Yeah. Do you see yourself getting angry enough to like break a hand this year?
No.
Yeah. It's
I'm
kind of like
inside.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that. I've usually, for me, I'll say it. I think I've said this a couple times, but me as a Nebraska fan, how I view it is every year it's the same. I go into the season expecting greatness. Normally, greatness would mean like a 10-win season. This time I was like, you know what? If we're the perfect team, we can maybe win 7 or 8. And those are my highs. And usually those will ride kind of high until like week 4. And then I get crushed. And then every game after that is just, I'm disassociated. I just don't care. This time it was week 1. It's still the same thing where I'm going in hopeful, and then we just disappoint and I get very upset. But once I get that out of the way, now I don't care. I need that one. It's kind of like you've heard like football players talk about they need like a quarterback like Brett Favre needed to get hit in a game to like kind of get going, to get in the zone. In order to like not kill myself, I needed that bad Nebraska loss to just be like, it breaks me inside, and now I am numb, do not care, and I can just appreciate college football for college football. I don't need to worry. I won't let Nebraska determine my happiness for the week. They get 1 week. They get one time. If they win, then guess what? I'm gonna be super happy, gonna be excited. But I'm here for college football.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I used to just have this cycle every week where it was like going into the week, no matter who we were playing, especially if it was like a tough game, and start off the week like, I don't know, it's going to be a tough game. Then by midweek, it's like, it's going to be a tough game, but I think we can edge them out. By the time kickoff rolled around, we're gonna shock the world. Fuck these guys. Like we are the best team, and no one realizes it. And then like at the end of the first quarter, just like sadness and whiskey drinking and ruining interpersonal relationships.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, my girlfriend at the time, like a few years ago, used to really not like Saturdays during football season because I would watch Nebraska and I would get very, very upset. And that's just no fun to be around, especially like if I'm watching a game if I'm like the only one watching a game and I'm just like getting really mad. It's just not a good way to go through. People at work would be like, "Hey, are you all right, man? We're kind of worried about you. Like, is everything okay at home?" And I was like, "Yeah, fucking Nebraska."
It's just, I think it's finally hit the point. There's so many shitty things happening in the world that it's like, I've got other things to just be like appalled and upset by. So there we go.
I still have the XFL to get mad about, so I can't be.
There we go.
I got to divvy it up. And Nebraska they're still forefront of my mind during this season. And, like this season in particular is a weird one because there's like one loss. I'm like, well, I'm already checked out. I'm already on to next season because Scott Frost is probably done. So I'm just like, you know what? New coach, just get new tenure. Then I will be back to the same old. Guess what? We're going to fucking win it all. Guess what? I'm going to be disappointed. Probably, hopefully, week 4 or 5 instead of week 1. That I can kind of ride that a little bit and then just get my dreams crushed. It's healthy. It's healthy to like have all of your expectations, hopes, and dreams crushed once a year. It kind of keeps you in perspective.
Yeah. What I'm really excited about is for about four or 5 games from now, whenever you've got like a bulletin board with like pictures of coaches and like yarn like between them and stuff, and you're analyzing who your next coaching hire is going to be, like you're like a FBI task force or like a.
How I can update you. You can ask me each week who I want the coach to be. As I have one this week.
Who do you want the coach to be, Jim?
I don't like that. I like it. Hugh Freeze.
All right.
Dude, I had someone tell me fucking Turner Gill. And I was like, okay. You mean the Turner Gill that got fired from Kansas?
Yeah.
I mean, he was all right at Buffalo, and he did like bring Liberty up from the FCS.
You can't judge somebody by what they did at the University of Kansas.
It's fair, but he's never like, I mean, Hugh Freeze. I'd love it. I'm just like, go fuck trying to be like a Nebraska goody two shoes program. Just go all in. He's a good coach. He's a good coach. Fuck it.
All right, 2 words for you. Ready? Les Miles.
I actually had someone unironically fucking tell me that.
Ooh.
Like, no, but they were just like, okay, so here's this one. They were just like, you should have hired Les Miles in 2017 when you hired Scott Frost. That's what they said. Like, they made the bad choice with Scott Frost. Should have gone after Les Miles.
Okay.
I was just like, why? When LSU fired him for like being bad, and like you kind of saw with how long it took him to get picked up by any school, and that school being Kansas, you kind of like, why we didn't pick him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. The thing was, like, he should have been able to win a national championship almost every single year that he was at LSU. Like, they should have been
at least like, in the hunt. Yeah.
Yeah. And like he was losing recruiting battles, like regularly keeping kids in state. Like,
Can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that at LSU.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
right now this week it's Hugh Freeze. There's a couple on the list, but right now Hugh Freeze.
All right, hear me out. Vince Lombardi.
If I could find someone named Vince Lombardi, or if we could just go full on reanimator and just reanimate his corpse, yes.
Yeah, that's what you guys need is a reanimated Vince Lombardi.
My
he
thought
loves
process,
the running game.
Okay, so if we're doing this reanimator thing, Scott Frost is the losingest coach since the guy before Devaney. Let's reanimate Devaney.
All right. Okay.
That's my hopeful sunshine moment right now. This is the worst we've been since before Devaney, and immediately after that, guess what? We were fucking awesome. So the next head coach, I'm already doing the Nebraska thing and be like, next guy, we're gonna be fucking on top.
There we go. There you go, Jim. You keep your chin up, baby.
Man, I feel like I do wonder sometimes, is it better to be a fan of a school that like hasn't ever like won or competed for a national championship team, or is it better or worse to be that or a team that used to be really good and now sucks? Not even sucks, because like we were feeling like Nebraska fans were feeling apathetic and frustrated with Pelini, and we were still like we were all right. We were a 9-win team.
Yeah, I mean, you went to a Big 12 championship game and damn near won it. In fact, that was with Pelini, right?
That was Pelini. That was like the big turning point of his career, in my opinion.
With Ndamukong Suh, yeah.
Yep.
I honestly, I think it's the fan of the team that has never competed for, because, but it's got to come with the caveat of you can't be delusional and think that your team should be competing for something every single year. And that's from the administration all the way down to the fans, because all that happens is like you end up going through coaches every like 2 or 3 years, and you're always starting over. You're consistently missing on recruits because you have no stability. Like
what is South Carolina doing?
Think of like Kansas State when they had Father Time coaching.
Yep.
When he had good seasons, he had good seasons. When he didn't, that's kind of what we expected. And they still made it. They still won things, but they didn't win them at like a crazy rate. Like, that seems like a pretty okay existence to me.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind being like, hey, you've won a BCS bowl. Hey, you've won like some New Year's Six bowls. Hey, you were technically in 2 different years under this coach's tenure. You were a game away from a national championship game.
Yep.
That's pretty fucking good. But I wasn't alive for the Nebraska glory days, but all you hear about is, guess what? We were fucking the kings of the 90s. We were the Alabamas of the 90s. Well, in my mind, I was just kind of be like, well, maybe I don't want to be compared to the Alabamas, because guess what? When we're compared to the Alabamas, we fucking suck.
Yeah.
Let's try and like just get to like, I kind of just want to be a Wisconsin.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being a Wisconsin.
You're pretty good. You're winning. You're like competing / winning your division more often than not. You're competing in your conference title game. You're every once in a while you're winning the conference title game, getting a shot at a Rose Bowl or like a New Year's Six bowl or some legitimate big bowl. And maybe some years, if everything comes right, maybe you get like an 11-win season, a 10-win season, and you're just like, whoa, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and you appreciate what you had, and you savor those things, and you're not immediately just like, okay, we're gonna do this every single year now. This guarantees it. We're a national powerhouse, and we're here to stay.
Exactly, man. I think what we will preach here on the Jimnasium is a healthy college football relationship, or unhealthy, because I'm still gonna get irrationally upset if Nebraska gets dominated by or loses to Buffalo next week.
Yeah, I guess to college football fans, I say to you in regards to your team, know thyself. Know thyself.
It'll make you happier in the long run. Like if you're a Buffalo fan or someone who's like you're not even going to be able to compete for a national championship game from day 1, week 0, whatever.
Yeah.
Just kind of be like, have your expectations. You're like, oh, we can win the MAC.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good fucking season. Win the MAC, beat your rivals. This is why college football to me is the best sport. And yes, I'm XFL Jim. XFL is king and everything, but college football is different. XFL to me is my favorite professional sport. College football is beautiful. The rivalry games, the tradition, the regular season is what makes this sport great. Yes, the postseason can use a lot of work, but man, there's something about a great rivalry game. Like when Nebraska plays Colorado, or when we play, even though we're going to get our dick stomped in, when we play Oklahoma, that's going to be an awesome experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, because no matter how it looks on paper, when it's a true rivalry game, either one of those teams can win. And it's every year the games are competitive.
And that's like, for some teams, that's your whole season. Is like, I just want to beat a rival. Like, what would
all.
Michigan give to beat Ohio State?
If an institution had its own left nut, I think it most likely would be
would
that.
They lose every other game that year if it guaranteed they would beat Ohio State?
Yes.
I think at this point right now, yeah.
Yeah. By the way, touchdown Florida State.
Oh, shit. Coming back. That'll get us away. Do you have any more of your shower thoughts in this beautiful cul-de-sac you call a home?
I'm done. This is it. That's it.
God. XFL news, XFL adjacent related news. CFL is going on right now. Week 5. Good shit. The Blue Bombers just beat the Rough Riders 23-8. So kind of those are probably your two top teams in the league.
Those are my two favorite teams. Feel like no matter what, I came out a winner in that one, though. We like to see the Rough Riders do well. Okay.
Definitely like to see that. I was happy with my pick of the Montreal Alouettes earlier. They beat the Ottawa Red Blacks 51-29.
Woo!
You get those big scores. Those big scores in the CFL. And then tomorrow we have the Toronto Argonauts versus the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and the Edmonton Elks versus the Calgary Stampeders. Who you got in these two, my man?
Give me the Elks and give me the Args.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm on the exact opposite side of both of those. So let's have a fucking competition this week. It's going to be awesome. I'm not going to chug maple syrup. I've been drinking enough of that. I'm not going to ask you to do that. So it's just going to be a friendly wager of whoever wins is just the better guy.
Okay. Yeah, that works. I like that.
There we go. And the other football league that I'm following right now, my friend XLeague Jim, we have XLeague Super. So there's XLeague Area and XLeague Super. I don't really follow, and I won't really press too much into XLeague, the XLeague Area, just because it's kind of like a relegation system where the best teams will face off against the Super, and then it's kind of a cool way to do pro football where you have a relegation system like that. Kind of neat.
Yeah. Oh man, we wouldn't have had to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars for like 5 years now, if we had that in the NFL.
Well, if you think about that, though, imagine if the Browns get like the Baker Mayfield and they go from the worst team in the NFL to like a pretty decent team. How cool of a story it would have been of them coming out of relegation and like going on to potentially compete for a Super Bowl.
Pretty dope.
Pretty dope. Pretty fucking dope. But the 3 games we had in the XLeague Super Week 1, we have the Nojima Saga Mahirara. I pronounced that terribly. I don't give a shit. 17, the Fujitsu Frontiers, your runner-up last year, 49.
Boom.
Not very competitive. Speaking of not competitive, the Tokyo Gas Creators up against the Panasonic Impulse. The Impulse wins this one 71-0. Where we need to email Nitro Betting
and ask for the X League.
Get some X League lines up in here.
There you go. And man, was that a rough week for the fart bags. I'll tell you that.
Not a great one for them.
Panasonic picked the right team to sponsor this year, it appears. Whereas the fart bags,
not great. And then I don't know. I've never seen this score in football before. The IBM Big Blue and the Elecom Kobe Phoenix tied at 26.
How the fuck did you get there? How did you get there?
How did you get to 26?
See, was it 2 touchdowns.
They probably, I think in the XLeague, I think they miss more field goals than like the NFL or other leagues. So there might be some missed field goals in there too.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Like some missed PATs.
Mm.
I think some teams also go for it, like go for 2 more often than not. You get some weird calls.
Okay. All right, 26-26. Let's go.
Well, no, you could do so you have 17 right there.
Mm-hmm.
You have 17 is a normal score. You get a touchdown, you miss your PAT, and then you get a field goal.
Yeah. Or
it's gotta be like one of the most likely ways to do it.
Or you scored 2 touchdowns and then you kicked 4 field goals.
Or that. There's a lot of different ways, but that's a weird one. It's a weird tie. So it's weird to tie on 26.
You scored 3 touchdowns, one of which you missed the extra point, and then you kicked
2
field goals. No, wait. You scored 3 touchdowns. You got 1 field goal and then a safety.
Yes.
Both
teams.
It's exactly how that shit went down. Both teams.
And for actual XFL news, so I made a video this week of the top 10 things I wish were going on in the XFL right now. Mm-hmm. And literally later that day, a podcast interview with one of the heads of Redbird Capital came out, and he talked about the XFL. Talked about how they want to be extremely deliberate, going very slowly with the process just to make sure they don't make any mistakes. I think they're really hunting for a decent, like the TV deal that they want. I think my gut is telling me that's kind of the big thing right now that they're waiting for, is a good TV deal to like really, once they have that, they know they kind of have the green light to start to like promoting the shit out of it.
I think while they're doing that, they need to be working on getting just a bank of players and developing players. Like if you own the XFL and you know that you're going to be playing again, like go ahead and start now and make sure that you've got players. And sure, I mean, there's going to be some attrition. Players are going to go for different opportunities and everything. Like go ahead and get an idea of who your coaches and who your players are going to be, and let them kind of start figuring out, because the TV deal is great. It's what you're going to need to survive. But once you have the TV deal, you're going to need high quality football to survive past the duration of the TV deal.
I am right there with you. If you can kind of get like a baseline of players, and they don't even have to be like a bunch of starters or anything like that. You just kind of have players that are developing and practicing for your league. They're practicing your brand of football.
Yep.
If you can afford to pay them, go for it. Because then you don't have the training wheel situation that you kind of had the first couple weeks, and refs too. Because you had a couple weird things with like people kind of getting used to the rules and everything like that. If you can avoid that and just kind of like go in, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you raise that just baseline of player talent, you're going to be in a good spot.
Exactly. Fucking mundo. Other football news. We could talk about a little bit while we're going through it, but we have our last week of NFL picks. Week 18.
Someone cue the Sad Boys to Men songs, because
it's kind of a little bittersweet. This is a very fun. It was like I kind of teared up a little bit last week with the college football one ending.
Yeah.
And this one's hitting. I like this a lot.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself on Sunday afternoons now. Oh wait, watch the games that we picked.
Football. Yes, this is actually the best timing. Do you have any like NFL storylines you're kind of on the lookout for before we jump into this?
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but it's going to be COVID and vaccinations.
That's a big one.
How many? Who's holding out being vaccinated? How is it going to negatively impact themselves or their teams? No one wants to forfeit a game because you couldn't have enough people play. I don't care what Bill Belichick says. Cam Newton not being vaccinated
definitely played a part.
Absolutely. Like how many games is Kirk Cousins going to be able to play?
I don't know, but that you know what? If he doesn't, maybe that helps me with my my Vikings picks.
Oh man, but yeah, that's to me that's the number one storyline. If I had to pick a second, it would be. I'm just really interested in what happens in the NFC East this year. Like to me, it's just like the biggest like mind fuck of a conference, and I think Washington's going to do pretty good. I actually kind of think now that Dallas is going to have a decent year. You give me 10 more minutes, I might convince myself that the Giants are going to have a good year.
I'm kind of there on the Giants myself. I think that defense is going to prove to be. I think it's going to be a sneaky good defensive conference. At least those two teams, at least the Giants and the Washington football team, will have legitimately good defenses.
Yeah, but it's just to like, is it possible that we have another, 500 or sub 500 team that well, I guess it's impossible this year to be 500 since you have 17 games, but is it going to be
You could be like a 9-8, or you could be like an 8-9.
Yeah, but I mean that's not 500. I mean, I guess you'd have to be like 8-1.
Yeah, you could be. I want to see the Washington football team in the playoffs 8-1.
Yeah, that's is there going to be another year where like the winner of the NFC East makes the playoffs and there are like 10 different teams that would have won the division with their records and should be in the playoffs if you're putting them in?
But I wonder if it's more of that conference just eating itself alive, and you could have a sneaky playoff buster.
That's not
probably not, but probably not. But hey, imagine how different 2020 would have been if the Washington football team beat the Bucs week one of the playoffs.
It would have turned it from the worst year ever to the greatest year ever.
Yes, and yes. My main takeaway is I kind of want to see how the rookies do. And by rookies, I mean also the quarterbacks that were rookies last year, because COVID year is always a little bit weird. Yeah. So I'm interested to see how Joe Burrow does. Super interested, even though I think Jacksonville's going to be absolutely horrible. I want to see Trevor Lawrence. Want to see Justin Fields get a start pretty early. I'm really excited for Trey Lance, Zach Wilson. There's a lot of new blood in the NFL this year,
which is good. You kind of, I can think of a few NFL draft classes that were league changers in terms of the quarterbacks that were drafted in that year. Are we going to talk about the 2021 draft as the year that brought in all these historic,
that'd be awesome.
Hall of Famer quarterbacks, kind of what was it, 2003? You had Eli Manning, you had Phillip Rivers, you had Ben Roethlisberger all show up in one year.
Wasn't Drew Brees around there too?
Yes, he was a little bit earlier.
I think he was earlier.
Yeah, because I want to say he was already a couple years. Well, yes, I think he was already. I want to say he was 2000 because he'd probably been in San Diego for about 3 years.
2001.
Okay.
2001. Anyway, let's get into Week 18 picks, starting off with your New Orleans Saints against the Atlanta Falcons.
Who dat?
That's an easy one for me. New Orleans all day there. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. That's tough.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
Steelers.
I'm gonna go Ravens.
Steelers.
I'm gonna go Ravens.
I think Steelers. I don't know why. I think I read something. And I don't remember what I read, but I read something. I'm actually buying into the Steelers this year.
It's funny because I actually did buy into the Steelers quite a bit, and now it starts with us making these picks, and it's starting to get towards the end of the season. I don't know. I'm not.
You're kind of hedging a little bit.
They haven't lit the campfire in my loins. They're just not doing it for me anymore. Especially I'm starting to get really high on the Browns and the Browns defense.
I am too.
That pass rush is going to be the best in the NFL. The best.
That division is fucking
loaded.
Good.
And you never know what Cincinnati's going to do. Oh, well, no, back to the picks.
Fucking wild card. Speaking of which, Cincinnati at Cleveland.
Wow, I just mind fucked myself right into that one, didn't I?
Got that one perfectly. I'm on the Browns. I think
I'm on the Browns too. I'm on the Browns.
It's morbid, but I am not confident that Joe Burrow lasts the whole season.
And I
hate that.
I also don't, but I think the Browns are good. I think Pittsburgh is good. You could have the Ravens are good, so I don't think that there's any team that's going to be like healthy enough or far enough ahead that they just sit the starters. Like
Mhm.
this game might mean a lot to
It might
to
mean
a couple
a
teams.
shitload.
Okay,
Give me Cleveland. A game that won't probably mean a lot. Green Bay at Detroit.
Green Bay.
Yeah, I almost want to be contrarian, but I have no faith in Detroit. Do you see that like they got rid of like almost all their kickers?
No, but am I surprised? No.
Titans at the Texans.
Their response was, "We just forgot that you needed one of those."
We just don't kick the ball. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm on the Titans.
Was it Titans at the Texans?
It's at the Texans. I also don't. I think this could be important for the Titans. I think that division maybe becomes between the Colts and the Titans. I don't know, but
I think the Titans are so far ahead that they might actually be resting the starters at this point. But I still think they beat Houston.
I still
Give
think
me
they
the
beat
Titans.
Houston. Colts at Jacksonville.
I'm
taking the Jaguars here, and let me tell you why. They're going to be a similar situation where they're one of the worst teams in the NFL probably, but they're not going to be bad enough where they can just like tank it out and get the first overall pick. So they might just be kind of like the Jets last year and just like win a couple games to end the year.
I like that, and I'm gonna join you in picking Jacksonville.
Up next, New England Patriots at the Miami Dolphins.
At Miami. Miami.
It's at Miami, and these teams play each other week 1. I had New England winning. I think we both had New England winning week 1.
Yeah, and it's New England playing at Miami. Like,
hey, guess what?
They're gonna lose.
These teams never go 2-0 against each other.
Yep.
Miami all day.
Miami.
Bears at the Vikings.
Bears.
Yep, I'm on Bears too. COVID City is there. Kirk Cousins is not going to be starting that game, so
no.
Washington football team at the New York Football Giants.
This might be a really good football game. There might be so many implications. The New York Football Giants. Oh, God damn it. That hurt.
I'm on them too, just because like they seem to, no matter how bad the Giants do or fucking what's his name does, Danny Dimes, he always seems to do decent against the fucking Washington football team.
Yeah. God, I can watch that video of him running for the end zone and just.
Someone needs to put that with Chariots of Fire.
Jeez. Yeah, or like the Benny Hill music.
Oh, that'd be either way, it's awesome.
The close up of his face. God, whoever that cameraman is, like, he should be canonized as a saint, or at least get like the Medal of Freedom from the president for that zoom in.
So I like saying New York Football Giants. I kind of might start doing that with every NFL team. So see how it fits. The Dallas Football Cowboys and the Philadelphia Football Eagles.
Cowboys. The Dallas Football Cowboys get the job done.
Yeah, give me Dallas as well. Carolina Football Panthers at the Tampa Bay Football Buccaneers.
Wait, hold on. Can we back it up here? Because I think the New York Football Giants beat the Washington football teams.
Yes.
That's the fun one to say. The Washington football teams.
That is the good one.
Okay, all right. Who was it again? I lost track.
No, it's the Washington football team.
Yes. Yes.
Carolina Panthers at the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Bucks.
Yeah, I'm on Tampa here. Seattle at Arizona. Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah, same.
Ooh, okay. Kansas City at the Broncos. Don't tell
Broncos.
me. Damn it, I'm on them too. Son of a bitch. 49ers at the Rams.
Rams.
Okay.
I'm on the 49ers there. It's a boring week.
No, I'm on the 49ers there.
Okay.
Chargers at the Raiders.
Chargers.
Yep, I'm on Chargers as well. This is we're kind of ending this. I think these last couple of weeks have been fucking boring in the NFL.
We had some rocky weeks where we weren't really seeing eye to eye, but I'm glad to see that we finished the season with us just like,
I think so. The season's it's like a hill for us. We got the peak. I think mid-season we were disagreeing a bunch. Beginning and end, we had a lot of shared opinions.
Yeah, we really rekindled our romance this week, and I'm excited for next week when we take a cooking class together.
I am extremely excited for next week when we're going to be in fucking Las Vegas together, baby.
What?
Week 1 of the NFL, my boy Chase, Lupine Fiasco, Sessoms, me, XFL Jim, whole bunch of the other BTV crew is going to be out in Las Vegas.
Yep. Because we might be better than it, but we still enjoy being there.
We are not better than prostitutes, though. So
I am. Jesus Christ. Okay,
that's fair. That's a good cover. I am not. The garage is very sex worker friendly. So I'm excited. I do have a couple things coming out this week. I'm debating the cooking video if I'm going to do it now or I'm going to wait to come back. I have an idea. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say what it is. I will tell you, Chase, after this episode comes out. I will let you know. You will be privy to the information. But there is a music video brewing. It's not a song I have made or an original song, but it is my video to a song that already exists.
I love it. Love it. I mean, you killed the XLeague video, so I can't wait to see. Like, if you, I'll just say it every week. If you're doing it, I'm watching it, Jim.
If you want to hint at what the music video is, the song is Euphoria. So look that up. That's
it's a
music video
song?
For that. It's an old song that was like really big on Eurovision back in the day. I'll show it to you when we wrap this up.
What am I? I was thinking of the. It's not the Muse song, right?
Are you thinking of the show?
No,
I think you might be thinking of the Muse song.
I'm confused. I don't know what's happening anymore.
I will tell you. I will let you know.
There is a Muse song named Euphoria, though.
Maybe. I don't know. With that, that'll do it for this episode of the Jimnasium. Fucking love you, Chase. I love you, listeners. Make sure you go to Nitro Betting. Sign up. Best crypto book fucking round. It is #garage certified for fucking sure. That is nitrobetting.eu/ref BTV. That is the reference. The link will be in the description of the podcast, of the video, anywhere you can find it. Love you, folks. My man, Chase, where can they find you?
You can find me being abrasive on Twitter @of Oaklawn. That's OF Oaklawn. If you play the ponies and the New York tracks specifically, you can find my tip sheets at Horse Racing Nation. Just click the old expert picks section. And as always, I'll be here with BTV and with my boy XFL Jim Saturday mornings with Campus Profits and here in the Jimnasium every Sunday.
And for me, you guys know where to find me. Twitter @XFL Jim, YouTube XFL Jim, making videos left and right on betterthan.vegas. Got the Jimnasium tonight. It's either tonight or sometime in the week if our schedules line up. I have the Jimnasium tailgate with my boy Magic fucking Mike. We got
GCG.
The Gulf Coast guru himself. Campus Profits every Saturday and the Jimnasium every Sunday with the most beautiful man in. I'm going to say you're the most beautiful man in Arkansas. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah. Like, fuck that guy that was on American Idol.
Yeah, fuck that guy. I don't know about him. But that's where you can find us. You can find the Jimnasium on anywhere where you get your podcasts. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, anywhere you can find podcasts.
If you need it delivered by by like a messenger pigeon, you DM us and we will make it happen.
We'll make it fucking happen. Thank you so much for listening. Love you guys. Garage out.